Weet jy nou, ek sê dit weer, ek sal nooit in politics kan gaan nie. Ek en die ladies het nou die dag 'n conversation en ons praat met die David politics because why is David Donald Trump is nou besig om sy kak te praat en so aan te right. En ek sê vir die ladies at face value. And please guys, you can engage with me, but if you disagree with me, please do it respectfully, okay? At face value, politics, it looks as if it's good people trying to do good for their community, right? So what they say, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but what they say is, let me represent you. I Cedric Laguma, lives in Kraaifontein. Let me represent the interest and the people of Kraaifontein, because I feel that Kraaifontein is not being given their fair share. Okay? No problem. That sounds good, right? At face value. But when you look at it, right? Because now, let's for 1 second play with the idea that I am not in power in Kraaifontein. I'm not controlling the political landscape in Kraaifontein. I'm still busy campaigning for support, because how things work in a democracy is that people must vote for you and then you can get control. Now, how do I do that? Because while I don't have power, I don't have the money, I don't have the support, I don't have the backing. So I can do very, very little. Okay? So how do I make people believe that I have Kraaifontein's interest at heart? Right? Instead of, and this is my opinion, instead of going out and doing work within the Kraaifontein area and building up a reputation as somebody that is doing good. In the time of social media, what I do now, and this is the strategy, is I must point out the shortcomings. I must dilute the good work that the current people are doing that is in power. So let's say my rivals is putting a post up on social media to say that they have done something in Kuils River. How do I make it seem like I've got Kraaifontein's interest at heart? I go make a big stink to say, ja, julle kyk net agter Kuils River. Jou waar is die help vir Kraaifontein? Okay, no problem. But that becomes the norm. Pointing out the faults, pointing out the shortcomings. I am no longer looking out for the interests of Kraaifontein. I am now only pointing out my rivals' problems, my rivals' mistakes, my rivals' shortcomings. And even if my rivals are doing a fantastic job, I'm going to point out that it's not enough, that this and that. And I am going to create the expectation, knowing full well that when I am in power, I am going to face exactly the same challenges as them. But while I'm not in power, I don't really have anything to lose. So now I go and I say, nee, die rivals vang net kakkan en dis nie genoeg en blah blah blah. And in fact, the way I go about it doesn't even make sense. Because let's make an example, right? My rival gets arrested. Now bear in mind, being arrested in this country doesn't mean that you are guilty. Being arrested in this country doesn't mean anything. That is why we have a constitution. That is why we have the rule of law. Okay? So I go around telling people, don't look at my past. Don't look at my past. I am no longer that guy. Don't show articles of things that I did that was not honest. Don't do that. But I can do it to my rivals, and it is okay because it is my rivals. And because it is my rivals, my enemy, anything goes. Because ons is in 'n oorlog. If somebody in Kraaifontein gets arrested, I put up my hand as the representative or future representative of Kraaifontein. I go, guys, you can't write this man off. You can't write this man off. Being arrested doesn't mean that this man is guilty. It's innocent until proven guilty. We will have our day in court and blah, blah, blah. But when our rivals get arrested, then I make a big situation around how this man must now be fired because hy was arrested and daar's niks investigation nie. Daar was nog nie 'n dag in die hoffie. Die man is guilty. In fact, bring 'n hangpaal laat ons hom kan hang. What is ironic for me is that if that should happen to me or any of my associates, then I'm going to put up my hand and say unfair. That is why I could never go into politics. You are sitting there, and this is where the conversation came in with my kids. Is I told them that it's not about helping the community. It's not about doing good. Politics is about power. Politics is about power, and once you've sorted out your need for money, once you no longer require money, then the next thing on the list is power. Because power means that you can make things happen. And that's all that politics is about. Politics is about power. Holding on to the power by any means necessary, getting the power by any means necessary. And in the process, it makes people bitter. It makes people miserable. How can the next person's misery bring you joy? How can you go about whole day just wanting to jump on a negative bandwagon? I don't have the energy. I barely have the energy for social media. If social media wasn't generating an income for me, I would not do social media. I promise you. Unfortunately, my social media income has become part of my budget. It is now something that I use. Ek betaal my school fees, ek gooi petrol in, ek koop kos. It's a love-hate relationship that I have because in the public eye, ek kan nie. But I see there are people, and you know what? Who is the worst in this equation, in this ecosystem? It's not the leaders. It is actually the followers that is the most toxic. And they have people in today's day and age do not have unity in mind. They do not have unity in mind. They have division in mind. It is us and them. Yet, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. That is a motto, that's a saying that I learned at one of the organizations that I worked for. We as a society, we as a species, we did not get as far as we got by going alone. We did not. In fact, we need to do it together. The political party landscape, in my opinion, and I can tell you now, the GNU, as well as it is not perfect, the GNU is a step in the right direction. It's a step in the right direction. But the people that are sowing division, I would never be able to go into politics because I wouldn't be able to wake up and look over the wall. Wat het hulle nou weer gedoen? Hoe kan ek hulle nou weer uitpoint? Hoe kan ek nonsens praat? I wonder how these people are in their personal lives. I wonder. Because let's be honest, guys. And guys, I'm going to be brutally honest now, and I'm going to stop this video after this. Let's be honest. A very, very small percentage of politicians is truly politically educated. It is an opportunity for somebody that has got no power, probably very little education, and no money, to have ambitions of having those things. That's the, I would say, the only motive politicians have. And it's amazing how you can very comfortably point out, nee, die ou het eers 'n matriekie, hoekom is die ou 'n leader, die man? Why, when you don't have the education as a politician, you want to talk about that one and that one that is in positions of power, but they don't have the education to back it. Meanwhile, you don't have the education to back it. That is the great hypocrisy, the great irony of politics. That 9 times out of 10, the thing that you point out in your rival as a negative fits you 100%. Because let's be honest, if you were really for your community, then why are you keeping your salary for yourself? Why are you not plowing your entire salary into your community? I'm just saying, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I know it's not practical. But I say it again, I would never be able to go into politics because it is not a clean game. And one thing, I'm not perfect. I'll say it again. I am very far from perfect. I've made multiple mistakes in my life, of which I regret most of them. Okay? But the older I get, the more mature I get, I realize that ethics is extremely important. And I find out that in politics, there is no ethics. There is the appearance of ethics, but it's all about power, it's all about control, and it's all about money. There's no other fight within the political game. Don't for 1 second think that they are doing it for the community, that they are doing it for us. The reason they are doing it is because that's part of the game. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section.